Good morning, guys. This is Professor Mane. We have started a third unit. Okay, this is nothing but your two-dimensional elements. In previous lectures, we have covered the first, that is syllabus for this structure was that. Then next we have covered the difference, basic difference between one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional elements. Then in this lecture we have covered the two-dimensional geometries or two-dimensional problem has two conditions. First one is your plane stress condition, second one is your plane stress condition, plane stress and plane strain. So for plane stress, as we have discussed, that the stress is assumed to be zero in the z direction or in the thickness direction because of the minimum thickness, and for strain condition these stresses are assumed to be zero in the z direction or acting perpendicular to the xy plane because the length in the z direction it is very high as compared to another two parameters, x and y parameters. Okay, then in next lecture we have covered your in previous lecture we have covered the basic convergence criteria for the any FEA problem. Okay, so as we have discussed in the convergence criteria, actually we have discussed the selected displacement function. For the selected displacement function has it should follow some conditions. Okay, so first one is what, your this selected displacement function, it should be continuous. Then displacement model or displacement function selected, it should satisfy the rigid body condition or rigid body displacement. Then third one is what, it should satisfy the constant strain rate, and the last one is what, it should be independent of the natural coordinate system. Okay, so these 4 points, as we have discussed in your previous lecture, only 4 points we have discussed, but now we will explain in detail these 4 points. Okay, so we will discuss the what do we mean by the compatibility condition, then what do we mean by the geometric isotropy, then what is the constant strain rate condition, and what is the rigid body displacement. Okay, so we will discuss these 4 things as we have discussed in previous, we have discussed that this displacement model should satisfy these 4 conditions. First one is it should be continuous, second one is it should satisfy the rigid body displacement, third one is it should satisfy the constant strain rate, and last one is it should be independent of all the from the natural coordinate system. Okay, then we have discussed in previous lecture the methods of convergence, H refinement, P refinement. For H refinement, as we know that for H refinement it is nothing but a step size, so it means we need to increase the number of elements for this given mesh to increase the solution, if we want to increase the accuracy of this solution, we need to increase the number of elements. So by increasing the number of elements, you will get the accurate solutions or more converged solution towards the exact solution. Okay, then we discussed the second, P refinement. P stands for actually polynomial. Okay, so in this case we will increase the order of the polynomial. By increasing the order of the polynomial, we will get accurate solution. Okay, so we discussed all these things related to your H refinement and P refinement in previous lecture. Now in this next lecture we will discuss the concept Pascal triangle. Okay, so we will discuss this Pascal triangle. So one second. Okay, so this is your Pascal triangle actually. So first term is 1, second this is your linear term x and y, third one is your x square, xy and y square, this is nothing but your quadratic polynomial function, fourth one is your cubic, fifth one is your quartic. Okay, in this way we can get our polynomial shape function. So basically what is the need of this Pascal's triangle actually? Okay, so Pascal's triangle, it is nothing but it is a convenient way, okay, to remember a complete two-dimensional polynomial. Okay, if we need to remember a complete polynomial, complete two-dimensional polynomial. Okay, now so first we need to understand what is the one-dimensional polynomial, what is the two-dimensional polynomial. Okay, so one-dimensional polynomial, it is nothing but it is a general one-dimensional polynomial shape function of nth order. It is given by u of x. Okay, ux. Why? Because only one dimension, means in x direction. Ux is equal to a1 plus a2 x plus a3 x square plus a4 x raised to power 4 plus and so on up to an x raised to power n. It means only x terms should be there for one dimensional polynomial shape function. So if we consider only constant term is there, ux is equal to a1, then it is called as constant polynomial shape function. If it contains two terms, a1 plus a1x, then it is called as linear shape function. And if it contains a1 plus a2 plus a3x square, then it is called as quadratic shape function. So this is for your one dimensional shape function. So one dimensional shape function can be remembered easily because this is nothing but a series in which we are increasing the order or degree of that x only, because for first term it is constant term, it is nothing but a1. For second term a1x, a2x, sorry. For third term a3x square. So degree of this x is increased here only. But a two-dimensional polynomial shape function, it is different than the one-dimensional polynomial shape function, because in two-dimensional polynomial shape functions we need to write this in form of x as well as in y. So what is the convenient way to remember the two-dimensional shape function? So a convenient way to remember the two-dimensional shape function is nothing but your Pascal's triangle. Okay, so by using Pascal's triangle you can write your two-dimensional shape functions easily, whether it is a constant, it is a linear, it is a quadratic, or it is a cubic. So how to write down? So by remembering this triangle one. Okay, so you can see that on the left side this 1x, x square, x cube, x raised to power 4 means only x term is increasing. On the right hand side, extreme right line, this 1y, y square, y cube and y raised to power 4 means here y is on increasing order, and on third stage there is xy. So similarly xy, where xy this second left line, it is also increasing xy, x square y, x cube y. Similarly right hand side only increasing in y term, xy, xy square, xy cube. So you can remember this triangle, and by using this triangle or Pascal's triangle you can write down the two-dimensional polynomial shape function. So how to write down the two-dimensional polynomial shape function? Okay, so we will see this here. Okay, so if we need to write down the polynomial shape function, two-dimensional polynomial shape function for a constant term, then there should be only one term. It is nothing but your a1. Okay, so this is a constant term, so there should be only one term. Then if we need to write down a two-dimensional linear polynomial shape function, then there should be three terms. So first one is constant and second one is for linear terms 1 plus 2, it is equal to total 3 terms. So 1 plus x plus y, it should be a linear two-dimensional polynomial shape function. Then if we want to write down a quadratic shape function, quadratic two-dimensional polynomial shape function, then how to write down this quadratic polynomial shape function? Then for this quadratic polynomial shape function, by using this curly bracket you will get this 6 terms here. So by using these 6 terms you can write your two-dimensional polynomial shape function. So how it will be like that, how it will look? So 1 plus x plus y plus x square plus xy plus y square. So this is your 6 terms quadratic polynomial shape function, and it is nothing but your two-dimensional quadratic polynomial shape function. So in this way you can write cubic two-dimensional polynomial shape function, quartic two-dimensional polynomial shape function, similarly quintic two-dimensional polynomial shape function. So for constant term there is only one term. For linear there should be 3 terms, 1, x and y. Then for quadratic there should be 6 terms. For cubic there should be 10 terms there in the polynomial shape function, and for quartic there should be 15 terms in the polynomial shape function. And how to write down these 15 terms? By using first constant term to the quartic terms. Okay, so you can write this cubic polynomial shape functions. For these cubic polynomial shape functions, there should be 10 terms. So you can write down this by using 1 plus x plus y plus x square xy plus y square plus x cube x square y plus xy square plus y cube. So up to these cubic terms you need to write down the polynomial shape function. So you will get 10 terms for this cubic term. Similarly, for quartic terms you will get 15 terms, and for quintic terms you will get 21 terms. So in this way you can remember, or actually this Pascal's triangle, it is nothing but a convenient way to remember the two-dimensional polynomial shape function. Because one-dimensional polynomial shape function, it is very easy, because only degree of the x is getting increasing. Okay, but the two-dimensional, it is not like that your one-dimensional polynomial shape function. So to remember the two-dimensional polynomial shape function, this Pascal's triangle is used. Okay, so you can see here.